This is Pastor Miguel from the Children's Baptist Ministry Church in Maryland. Today I want to talk to you about something quite interesting. It's found in Mark 8, verse 33, and this is where Jesus rebukes Peter, but instead of calling him Peter, right, he calls him Satan. So let's go ahead and read verse 31 all the way down to verse 33, okay? And it says here, "And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes and be killed, and after 3 days rise again." So he gave him the gospel. This is the gospel. And he said this plainly. And Peter took him aside. So Peter said, "Come here, Jesus," right? And began to rebuke him. So Peter is now rebuking Jesus because he gave him the gospel. But turning and seeing his disciples, he rebuked Peter and said, so basically he was rebuking them in front of everyone. He was rebuking Peter in front of all his disciples because it had to happen. It was the plan of God, and it had to happen. So he rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan." Why did he tell him, "Get behind me, Satan"? Why didn't he just say, "Get behind me, Peter"? Right? Because the devil obviously did not want Jesus to die on the cross as a sacrifice, right? So he didn't want that to happen because it will mean that he will be defeated. So, obviously Jesus recognized who was talking to him. It wasn't Peter talking to him. It was Satan. Obviously Satan had entered Peter and didn't, rebuke Jesus, saying, being the Son of God, being God himself, how could you rebuke God? And so it was an arrogant move from Peter, right? It was an arrogant move from Satan. And he was telling him, Jesus told him, "Get behind me, Satan, for you are not setting your minds on the things of God, but on the things of men." So obviously, we know that, some people will say that Satan was influencing Peter. Obviously, this is not the first time that Satan tried to influence or enter Peter. It talks about, Jesus talked about Satan wanting to swift Peter like wheat, right? So obviously Peter's not perfect. None of us are perfect. And in this case, Jesus could address Peter as Peter, but he did not. He addressed him for what he was at that point. Obviously, it was Satan speaking through Peter. And so I find that quite interesting that most people miss the fact that Jesus didn't call him Peter. He called him Satan. Thank you so much for watching this video. God bless you guys. And hope you learned something from the video. God bless you. Bye-bye.